Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to your February monthly reading. In this reading, there will be timestamps below for the general portion. Then we'll move on to love, and then we'll do a spirit message at the end to kind of tie all that energy together. So, all right, Aquarius, let's see what we got for you. Hmm. We have the hungry ghosts, obsession, scarcity, consciousness, and attachment. You're going to have to work on letting things go and moving on from things. I really feel like with this energy, it's starting to affect your life in a bigger picture. I feel like right now you're just like, well, I'm not ready to move on, or I'm not ready to accept it, or, like, I'm getting like this, like, I need time to grieve, or I need time to process, but I feel as though you've had ample time to do that. It's like time to get the process rolling. You know what I mean? Like to really start letting it take effect. Which is not necessarily the nicest thing to say, but it's what needs to be said. So we have scribe, preserving knowledge and information. Yeah, a lot of this is you just don't some of you are having trouble letting go of someone. I feel like you don't want to act like they didn't matter or that they weren't important, you know? It's like you're trying to hold on, you're trying to gather as much information as you can. You're trying to hold on to things, to keep things sort of the way that they are as much as you can. It's like you're fiercely trying to control um, what comes in and out of your life or your memory, your energy. Okay. So then we have ego medicine, spirit of air, another air card, movement, river, and sweat lodge. Yeah. Now listen, Aquarius, okay? The sweat lodge is about releasing things, okay? And it does it in a way where you don't want to. So this is like it's time to let something go even though you don't want to, even though you feel like it's not time, or you're not ready, or you're not willing to do it. It's time. I feel like there's a blockage in your energy. It's not allowing you to grow. It's not allowing you to expand. It's not allowing you to have bigger manifestations or experiences. It's not allowing you to do that. And it all starts in February with a thought. It all starts with an indication that something needs to change. And it's up to you to kind of nurture that. It's up to you to make it more than just a thought and to put it into action. Um, First, though, you have to understand that it's time. For a lot of you, with this ego medicine, it almost feels to me like for some of you, someone who you either think highly of or someone at a higher, I don't want to say a higher status, but it's like someone that you look for help or advice, I would say, put something or plant something in your mind that gives you this thought. And then you realize at this point, like, it's time to move on. It's time to grow. It's time for bigger, better things. It's time to expand. I don't want to say bigger, better, but it's just like it's time to move on from this energy that you're in now. But your thing is you don't want for things to change. You don't want to let go. Because keeping things the same feels more safe, than not doing that. Okay. Okay, we have the Nine of Cups in reverse, the High Priestess in reverse, and the Five of Coins. Yeah. So what I'm seeing here is that your environment, the things that are happening around you, maybe even your finances, your stability is being affected by this. And I feel like that's what's kind of giving you the attention. Like, I need to pay attention to this. But I feel like you've kind of suppressed or disconnected from what's been happening. You know, it's like being in sadness about something that has happened in your environment, money losses. I feel like it's a combination of things that are just kind of circling around you right now, Aquarius. But you're starting to feel sad or disappointed, unfulfilled. You know, it's almost like it's time for you to pay attention to what your environment has been trying to show you instead of just trying to maintain it. It's like things are out of whack for you to pay attention to why they're out of whack, why they're not growing, why they're not stable, you know. That's what needs to be dealt with. Tower, Ace of Wands. We'll do clarifications after. I just don't feel like I'm being called to do them right now. So the Tower, the Ace of Wands in reverse, and the Queen of Swords. Yeah. So you're being called to make changes to self. This is inner self for your own happiness. You're being called to do that. I feel like your environment is not going to change without you making the changes. And right now, it is up to you. It's up to your thought process. So I feel like your thought process needs to change from being self-destructive or like sad or like gloomy or like a victim, and more into, like, these are the changes that are happening in my life and I'm going to go with the grain instead of against it. Ten of Wands in reverse, the Star, and the Eight of Coins. I will tell you this, Aquarius, it will lighten the load for you. I feel like there's a burden in taking responsibility for your side of things. And not that it's your fault. It's more like you have to stand up and take some action and do some things. Even though you don't feel like it, even though you don't want to, you will have to do it. But I do feel like it is a release for you to do so, you know? It is going to be uncomfortable. It doesn't look fun, but it's like it needs to happen. It's like you need to step into that part or that speed up of the process. It is going to take your dedication in a way. I feel like you need to focus on the first thing you need to do is focus on making the right decisions. Um, So like preparation for a big change. Like it's like acceptance. There we go. So it's more like acceptance of the issue and then moving forward. Um this is kind of heavy, Aquarius, because it's like everything can't be healed. Everything can't be fixed by just blocking it out or just ignoring it or just trying to stop change from happening. That's not the best thing. It makes you feel comfortable, but it's not necessarily the best situation. The Tower comes when something needs to change because it needs to change. Like it's just not meant to be in this part of your life anymore, you know? Like it's meant to have a transition of some sort. But I feel like that's taken away your hope, you know? You're not listening to your intuition as much as you notice there's change in your environment and like trying to fight it instead of listening to the fact that there's something that needs to change like in your life, you know? Okay. Remember, Aquarius, that your focus is being happy and emotional fulfillment, which I feel like you haven't really been 100% in that area. Um, so it's almost like you had a focus on other people being happy, not as much as you. And you're happy when other people are happy, but now it's time to focus on yourself because you can't use other people's joys to make you happy. Okay. Um, Yeah, and you've been very indecisive about something that you need to do for yourself in your environment or something that needs to change. It really has to do with holding on to the past. There's something about holding on to a past or a childhood memory or the way things were. Because you feel like when you let that go, you're releasing that sense of like the past. You know, it's like you're saying it's not important, and it is important to you. Um, yeah, you'd find more power in allowing change to come in and allowing this whole process to kind of go the way it's supposed to go instead of trying to control everything. You would feel more power in that. But I feel like all you see is that to I don't want to let this go. I can't make the decision to let this go. Um, because I'd be leaving a part of my past behind. What's interesting in February, I feel like that's going to change only because mentally it's so heavy to not make a decision that it's blocking your ability to do other things in your life or to make good decisions in other areas of your life. Um, I don't know why, but I'm getting this feeling like it's blocking someone else's growth. I know. Okay. Um, someone else's dreams, um, because of like this stubbornness. So yeah, it's about healing the way you think about things. Because right now it's like it's about me and my happiness, but it's really affecting other people and other situations, and also creating blocks in your life just to have that sense of stability and not wanting change. This is a long one. I'm sorry. So it is an unfortunate situation, meaning like it's time for you to break a cycle and it's uncomfortable and you don't want to do it, but it needs to be done. It needs to be done so you can get back on the right path of how you're supposed to be doing things. Um, it's kind of blocking your direction on where it is that you want to go. It's like you kind of you possibly have lost passion for things because of this. Um, and this will help heal that. This will help give you more faith in the future. I don't know about right now, but it's like once you get this on track, those things will change. Um, work on work on not forcing your love and compassion also on others, okay? And letting others make their own decisions and have their own mistakes and do their own things as well. It's like having compassion for others is also something that's being pointed out in February. Okay, so let's get into your love reading, Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, so your love energy. Um, the first card that we have for you is worthiness. This is about gathering up your self esteem, okay? Being proud of yourself and who you are, taking care of yourself, things like that. But this is more about your self esteem and the goddess within you, the nurturing energy, feeling like you can do anything, feeling like you're beautiful, feeling like you're attractive. I feel like there's a lot of that, like that you're worthy of love, you're worthy of consideration. That you can do anything that you set your mind to, that type of energy. Okay. So we have very soon, we have wedding, wisdom of the magi, and prophets and ancient seers. This is interesting because I don't feel another person in here right now. This is more about your energy. So, no, you know what? This is the other person. Okay. Uh, what's interesting is I feel like not only your partner, but the people around you see something beautiful in you and who you are. What's interesting is I don't feel like you see it right now. It's more like you are just, I don't know how to say this, but it's more like you're feeding off of someone else's care for you instead of you sort of creating your own right now. And I don't even think that you realize that you're doing that. Okay. Um, but I do feel like someone who cares about you or even a love interest wants you to do better for yourself. Okay. And this may be someone that you're married to as well or were married to. That one's a little foggy for me. But and it may be foggy because someone may have passed away. But it just says that they want you to think about your future and take care of yourself in the future, for the future. Um, they're worried about your future. Um, and it's time for you to sort of grow up. But I don't want to say it like you're a child, but it's more like for you to accept change for what it is so you can move to this next level that they so desperately want you to go to. Interesting. All right. And this is more like a loved one. This is feeling like a loved one. Not like a love interest, like someone new. This is like someone who really truly cares about you and wants the best for you. Aquarius. Okay, 3 of Wands, 8 of Cups, 4 of Coins. Yeah, it's definitely time for you to walk away from something, and you don't want to walk away from it. It's time for you to find emotional fulfillment. Um, it's like you're stuck somewhere, like you're not ready to change. You're not ready to move on. You're scared of what's coming next in some aspect. Um, so you're just trying to hold on to things. It's very interesting because you're trying to move forward and expand your horizons and think about the long term without taking any risk. That's what it looks like. Yeah, for those of you who have been like taking trips to kind of get away, that doesn't help you deal with what you need to deal with. It's almost like it's a band-aid for a cut that needs stitches. sort of. Um, yeah, I feel like you're trying to manipulate the system, Aquarius. That's what it looks like. You're trying to manipulate the system so you don't have to leave, so you don't have to deal with it, so you don't have to move on out of fear. You know, um, you're like, I can make things work by staying where I am. But I feel like you're not being nurtured in this situation because you just want to stay stagnant. You don't want things to change. This is like the exact same energy as your general reading. But I feel like someone wants you to move on. I feel like someone's also giving you subtle hints about changing or making changes. Um, you may be fighting them a little bit. Okay. Seven of Cups, Two of Swords, and the Five of Swords. I feel like you're confused on what's going to make you happy. You're confused on what your options are. I feel like there's too many options. There's too many situations. I feel like as soon as you start to try to move or do something different, you get really like heavily emotional about it. Um, but it's almost like you need to let those floodgates open, right? Those thoughts that you don't want to think about, that situation that you don't want to process, needs to be processed. That's what it is. Um, and you're like, well, if I can hold things off, if I can not make a decision, if I can avoid it, then I won't see it. But that's not true. Also, I'm getting the feeling of feeling like someone left you to your own devices for someone. Yeah, I feel like as soon as you start thinking about change, expanding, or doing something different, that's when all those thoughts just come storming into your head. Um, and you're like, the first thing you want to do is freeze up. You don't want to make a decision. You don't want to handle it. You don't want to do anything. Um, but I feel like someone is really worried about you doing that. Someone's really worried about you not using that knowledge, that power for your own good. And that knowledge, those feelings, those issues that you need to kind of see through are there to help you like move on or complete something, you know? Um, it's there to show you that it's time to go. Yeah, you just need to see it. That's interesting because the High Priestess talks about your intuition. So your intuitive energy knows that it's time to move on to something. It's like there's a part of you that's like, it's time for me to make this right decision. It's time for me to move forward. It's time for me to grow. It's time for me to be really direct and truthful with myself no matter how much it hurts. And then we have the Six of Swords, the Eight of Wands, and the Six of Wands. By February, you're going to start your journey. I feel like it's painful. I don't feel like it's easy for you. I also feel like there's a moment where you feel alone or like others don't support you or they don't see your side of things. Um, because I really feel like once you start, the gates kind of flood open, right? So once you understand, it's like once you see what needs to be seen, Aquarius, you can't stop yourself from seeing it. And it's going to I feel like you're going to get a bit defensive. Yeah, I feel like you're going to get a bit defensive and feel a little bit lonely or feel like Maybe you're being attacked, but it's more like people don't understand you, you know, because I feel like you're not ready to fully see what needs to be seen. You're not really fully ready to deal with what needs to be dealt with. So, um, yeah, I feel like other people around you, the universe, the collective, maybe someone who has passed on as well, really wants you to change some sort of pattern in your life. Okay. Um, I feel like they want you to succeed, and they see that you're not on the road to succeeding. Also, you may be blocking their ability to succeed as well. Um, because I see that their main focus is getting you to be stable so their life can be stable. For some reason, you two feel like together. So they're like, well, this is about creating structure within my life as well as Aquarius's life. Um, and they are adamant about doing that. Like they're focused on making things happen for them so you can accept change, because they want what's best for you. But you have to see that for yourself. Okay, so let's get to your spirit message. Well, Aquarius, here's your spiritual message. So we have discovery, faith, and complacency. Ooh, these cards for you. So you're opening up a new door to who you are. And I feel like this is happening through spirit, whether you know it or not. I feel like there's a guardian angel. For some of you, there's somebody who has passed away that really wants you to like move on, and discover like that worth within yourself, and to get grounded about how you're experiencing things in your material world, and not being so like stuck in emotions or thoughts and things like that. Really, you have gotten complacent with a situation, maybe a sad situation or an event that you can't control. And you're like, well, this is my life, this is how it is, but you're worth more than that. You can have more than you have now. I do feel like in your environment, I do want to say that you do have to think on a higher perspective. Like you have to have faith that you know the spirits that be, the higher power, has a better plan for you. That's what this says to me. Especially when it comes to other people or things that you don't understand, right? But that's because it breaks up that sense of complacency or that sense of normality that you've had in your life, and you don't want that change. But you can handle it. It's really to help you expand. It's really to help you get out of like a rut of sorts. Okay? So I love you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.